Well, hi there, and welcome to Organizing Life's Daily Demands. My name is Peter Gordon, and I am the president of New York Financial Organizers. We're daily money managers, and we help people pay their bills, file insurance claims, and do all the non-investment side of finance that people need to do to organize their financial daily demands. And the point of this podcast is to introduce our viewers and listeners to other professionals who can help in the many, many areas of life's daily demands. And today I'm really happy to have Josh Fields as my guest. Hi, Josh.
Hey, Peter. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Josh and I know each other. We met for this entrepreneurial kind of mastermind group, and it was really good to get to know him. We've seen each other in networking events since then, and I've always been really impressed with your dedication to your field and your craft. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I am primarily a residential real estate broker. I've been practicing real estate in New York City for the last 22 years. And recently I've gotten my Connecticut license reactivated. We purchased a home, and I affiliated with Berkshire Hathaway in the state of Connecticut. And I'm with the Spire Group real estate organization in New York City.
Great. And how'd you get involved in real estate?
Wow. So I was in a networking group many years ago.
It all starts in networking group.
Yep. About 25 years ago, I was in a group, kind of like a BNI. And I was really close with the real estate agent in the group. His name is Kevin Kurland. At the time, I was working for a company that did office supplies and printing and stationery, letterhead. So Kevin was actually with City Habitats when he first started, and he was looking to break away, branch out, and start his own organization, which he did, called Kurland Realty. So he came to me to help him get started with printing up all the things that he needed. We came up with the logo, and we came up with all the things that he needed to get going with his business. And every meeting, every week, I would give him all these leads for people that I knew, whether it was, a lot of young people, 2 people that were wanting to share a 1-bedroom, or maybe it was 3 people that wanted to share a 2-bedroom and put a wall up in the living room and flex out that living room. I mean, a lot of people were doing that. A lot of people are still doing it because New York City is just really so expensive to live renting wise. So it makes it a little bit more affordable when you put one of those pressurized walls up in the middle of the living room. So Kevin was like, Josh, you're giving me all these leads every week, all these people that I'm making so much money off of these leads you're giving me. Why don't you just come and work with me in real estate and make the money yourself? And I said, that's a really interesting idea. I said, I was going through some changes and some thoughts as far as my experience in the office supply business. And I was like, maybe I could branch out and try something different. And this was back before 9/11 happened in 2001. So that's when I got my license that summer, and I started working with him. And then 2001 happened, and it was just like the market was down. So it was really slow. It was a pretty good time to learn directly from Kevin. And there were just a few of us working at that time out of his 5th floor walk up over on 37th between 1st and 2nd Avenue. And then I was so excited. Things started to really pick up soon after 9/11. I mean, it was slow maybe just for a few months, and then things picked up quickly. We got a real office over on 34th and 2nd, right on the corner, right above the Clover Delicatessen. I
know it very well. I lived on 27th and 2nd back then. And I think that Clover Delicatessen finally closed recently.
It did close. I think they put a pizzeria there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But those smells, man, of fresh baked breads and pastries and all the deliciousness, working right above that, it was dangerous. And my commute was not far. At that time, I was living on 2nd Avenue between 33rd and 34th. So I had about a good 30 to 45 second commute from going down the stairs over and up.
So my kids went to PS 116. right around that's on 33rd between 2nd and 3rd.
Oh yeah. That's one that's right
And
there.
at that period of time, 9/11.
Oh wow. So I got started working with Kevin and learning from Kevin and working out of that office on 34th and 2nd, and eventually we opened up another office in Chelsea on 23rd between 5th and 6th. So there was a period of time where I was managing the office because we were growing pretty quickly. So I was managing the office on 34th and 2nd, kind of early in my career. Then I went back to really focusing on the real estate, on the residential side for quite a while.
But that's a common theme we're going to come to. And and you're with Spire now?
Yeah, I'm with Spire. So, it's really, I've been with one organization throughout because we were Curland Realty. Then Bianca Yankoff partnered with Kevin. And in January 1st of 2010, we became really the first 100% commission-based company in New York. So agents would pay $495 a month to work at the company, and they would keep every penny of commission that would come in. And that was really a pretty new concept back when we were starting it in 2010.
Wow. So every penny of commission, would your company take a piece as well?
No, the company wouldn't take anything. You
Just
keep
the $495.
You pay $495 a month, and you sell $1 million apartment, and that's a $60,000 split commission, $30,000 to each company at 6%. So you keep 3%. So you keep $30,000, and that $30,000 goes right in your pocket.
And you guys were able to make money on that?
Yeah, because we really grew exponentially once we started that concept, and we were marketing that new business idea. So we had agents coming and working with us saying, wow, yeah, I don't want to give 50% to my company or 40% to my company.
Oh, yeah.
I want to keep the whole thing. That's a great idea.
Right.
So that's when Bianca got really more involved. Bianca was a great agent. I helped train her, and she became a super agent.
Wow.
And then she married Demo, and Demo also was an amazing rental agent. I mean, this guy was making $300,000 a year just renting apartments down in Midtown and downtown Manhattan. He was a hustler. He still is.
I bet. Yeah, when we first met, you were involved in Spire's management. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so like I said, I was very close with Bianca and Demo, and unfortunately, before COVID happened, I guess it was in 2019, Bianca got sick. And at first, it was a big secret that she didn't want to tell anyone that she had cancer and that it had spread. And she was going on these extended trips down to Mexico and Costa Rica, where she was doing alternative treatments because she saw what happened to her brother several years before, where he got cancer and he had chemotherapy, and she saw how the chemotherapy just beat him down and destroyed him. And then eventually he died. And he had colon cancer, and that's eventually what also got Bianca's, that she got colon cancer and it had spread. And so she was just trying to come up with alternative treatments. And this was really became much more of a challenge once COVID hit. She had asked me beforehand. It was actually on my 50th birthday where she asked me to really become the managing director of the firm and to really help run the company while she was off, fighting for her life. And that was January of 2020. And then what happened a couple of months later, who would have known that the world was about to change extremely rapidly. And she was in Costa Rica at the time taking these different treatments. And, she didn't really have her boots on the ground, so to speak. So she couldn't really see the reactions where people were freaking out. The office people didn't want to come into work. The staff was afraid. And it was just it was a big mess. And it was really hard for me dealing with the challenges of knowing that she was not doing well. And a couple of months later, she passed away, and she died at 37 years old. And she had two children that were 5 and 7. Her two boys were 5 and 7 at the time that she passed away. So I really, I took her request very seriously to take care of her baby. It's her first baby, Spire,
Right.
because that's the first company that she had, and that was really what she loved. And then obviously she had her two boys subsequently after she had the company. But I wanted to really live up to my word to Bianca and make sure that the company was well taken care of. So I worked very closely with Dina, who was our director of operations. And we worked closely to stay in touch with all of the agents. And I ran weekly meetings, and I did everything that I could to try to keep the company intact, and eventually see us through a transition where we merged with a much larger company that summer. In July of 2020, we merged with Oxford Property Group, which was a company that also had a very similar business model where they had agents that could pay $495 a month to keep 100% of their commission. But they actually had a second business model that we adapted, which was agents could pay $99 a month instead of the $495, and they could keep 90% of their commission instead of 100%. This way the company would get a little cut of the
Sure.
action.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so I stayed on in management for the next year and a half or so, and I was really glad to fulfill my obligation that I had to Bianca to take care of her baby and make sure that we were well taken care of. I was taking the train in every day during COVID. I mean, I was taking the Metro North in from Greenwich, and there were times where I was the only person in the entire car. It was crazy. But I was there, I was there for any agents that wanted to come in. I was there running meetings every week. We had the huddle where we would just talk about things that we saw happening. Once we were able to get back with our feet on the ground, I believe it was June 19th of 2020, where we were actually able to get back to show and do our jobs. It was important for us to share, all the different promotions and different things that were going on with different management companies and different buildings. I mean, it was a mess. They were giving away all sorts of incentives, like 2 months free, 3 months free on a 12-month lease. I believe I even got 3.5 months free on a 12-month lease, where I was able to get
Wow.
a $5,600 apartment for my clients for $3,500 a month net effective, which was really crazy deal. So I went back at the beginning of 22 to doing what I really enjoy doing most, which is, hustling, running around the city, meeting clients, showing properties, and not having to sit in the office every day. I did that. I saw that, and I was ready to go back.
Within that world, what's your favorite part?
Helping people buy an apartment usually is the most expensive decision, the most expensive purchase, one of the most influential decisions somebody's going to have in their life. So I really enjoy the hand-holding process, especially if it's somebody who's going through this for the first time, of walking them through step by step of what's involved with buying a property in New York City, and really helping them feel like they did something really great, and having them be proud of what they accomplished by buying an apartment. And I love doing that. I love seeing some of these really beautiful apartments downtown with these really big high ceilings, really
A whole
lofty.
nother world.
Yeah, it really is. I just rented one now at 12 East 12th Street for $11,000 a month. It's a 2,000 square foot apartment where it's considered legally a 1-bedroom, but it's a 2-bedroom because the second bedroom doesn't have any windows. But it's just got these 14-foot amazing ceilings and a great downtown loft-like feel right in the heart of Greenwich Village.
Yeah, my parents used to live at 70 East 10th Street, so I know that area. That's a great area.
It really is.
And yeah, some of those buildings have wonderful views. What's your current take on the market in both New York City and Connecticut? different markets.
It's different markets, but there's certain similarities in the fact that, because of these really high interest rates, which are much higher than anybody's seen during the lifetime of their purchasing abilities, it's tough because you have, I guess, more cash buyers now on the market that you see. A larger percentage of the buyers are cash buyers because people want to avoid the mortgages as much as possible. So you see people borrowing money from friends, from family, so they don't have to get involved with the banks. There's not as much inventory, both in Manhattan as well as where I live up in Greenwich. Although, because there's such a shortage of inventory, if properties are priced right in Greenwich, they'll go quick. They will go.
Oh, yeah.
But there still are buyers on the sidelines that are waiting. And they might come in with cash, or maybe they'll do an interest-free mortgage, but they will. I'm seeing properties sit a lot longer in Manhattan now than I have for quite some time. Even though there's not a lot out there, I feel like there's not as many buyers. The buyers in Manhattan are kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next. Our price is going to come down. There's just not enough inventory, and there's not enough buyers. Everyone's kind of just waiting right now to see what's going to happen next.
And so how do you go about getting your clients?
Well, being in this business for 22 years, I've got a pretty good referral base, which is great. So clients that have been happy with the way that I've treated them, the service that I've provided, they come back to me. Especially rental clients will come back to me a couple years down the road. If it's somebody who bought with me 5 years ago, maybe they want to buy again. They want to sell their property and buy something else. And they also share my information with friends and family. I do a lot of marketing as well. I'm a huge sports fan, so I put together sports calendar magnets of all my favorite teams. So right now I'm
only your favorite teams?
Only my favorite teams, which are a lot.
Right.
A lot of favorite teams. Because I root for the Jets and the Giants, so I put together a calendar magnet that has both team schedules on it. I put together a Yankees calendar magnet. I do one with the Knicks, and I do one with the Rangers. And people
I got 3 out of 4, or actually 4 out of 5 there, so that's good.
Okay. People like it. It just sits right here. Is just one for the Jets, because I'm a season ticket holder for the Jets, so I give these out at the games. Yeah, I know.
Condolences.
It's been tough. It's been tough.
Yeah, there's something to, as a Met fan, I know there's something to the suffering.
I was there Monday night. We were so excited for Aaron Rodgers. He was like our Lord and Savior coming in to take the team to the next level. And then
there was no more Jet thing than him going down on the 4th snap from center.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to agree. There is no more of a Jets thing like that to happen to us. And then for us to not be prepared and to have Zach Wilson as our starting quarterback right now, it's just a cluster.
Yeah, that it is.
So and then I'm involved with a lot of networking groups as well. So
you invited me to a group that I thought was a great meeting. I'm kind of up to here with networking groups, but I really like that group.
Yeah, that's the Business Connection, and I'm actually going to be inviting you again because we're in about a month or so at the end of October. We're going to be having another one of those little gatherings at the law. What is that building?
It was the Bar Association.
The Bar Association.
So and I'll invite my partner to that.
That'd be great.
I'll send
you
that. And he and I know people who are there already, so it's good.
You knew other people that were in the group?
Yeah, a lot who were either in the group or in the meeting. It was great. Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, no, and I know that's one of the things I love about my business is working with other professionals. It's kind of why I do this. Well, I think that's we covered a lot, and I think it's really great. Tell us the best way for people to get in touch with you. Your information will be in the podcast as well as the video screen, but let's hear about it anyway.
You can email me, josh@spiregroupny.com. That's SPIRE, or you can call me at 646 888-221-6662. And I'm not sure if I touched on the fact. Well, we did touch on the fact that I am licensed in Connecticut. So I purchased my new home in Greenwich. So if people are looking for help anywhere in Fairfield County, Connecticut, from Greenwich up to the border, really more of the Stamford area, a little north of there, I could certainly help with those areas as well.
I happen to have a relatively new client in Old Greenwich, so maybe we'll hook up sometime when I'm there.
Yeah, one of my good friends just became manager of the Old Greenwich Butcher Shop, and it's great. They have really great prime meats, and I've been really enjoying cooking a lot of the prime meats in my new
Dynamite. Okay, well, thanks very much, Josh. It was great talking to you. I will see you at the end of October, and I hope to see everybody else at our next video podcast. Bye-bye.
Thanks.